And Houston Challenger, my compliments to the people from MBB. That Mars is a nice flying little vehicle.
Thank you, sir, and we'll pass it on. Mile at 2120.
Roger, 2120.
Standing by Milo with the TV.
Roger. Roger. And Houston, we've got a good lock with the rendezvous radar at 900 feet.
Beautiful.
And we're coming up towards the Terminator. We might be able to get you some TV here shortly.
We've been following you. We got a TV.
Okay.
Looks about like the SMS so far.
It's more impressive here.
No, it doesn't.
And Houston, we're trying to work other cameras for you, but right now the lighting is not adequate, so be aware we're still working it.
We copy.
Houston, you guys still there? Houston, you still with us?
That's firm, 4.5 minutes.
Okay, and we're sending you pictures from the TV now.
We had a look at it. Unfortunately, we're losing the TV now.
Okay, we've got it recorded. We'll send it back to you sometime.
Over Bermuda for 4 more.
Okay.
The car at 2+47 elapsed.
Okay, going LOS. We're out at 300 feet. Very stable. It looks very good. We'll see you at the car. This is spectacular.
We can imagine.
We'll see you later.
Adios. The car for 8.5.
Roger. Okay, we're out at 500 feet now, Sean. We're down nearing our rendezvous radar gimbal bias check, and everything's looking stable. I think we're getting some good VTR that we'll be able to send back to you, and you got 5 very happy people up here.
Sounds great, Rick. Several thousand happy down here.
Roger. Houston, Challenger, how do you read?
Got you loud and clear.
Okay, you gave us an AOS call with our SPA's messages of the SM apparently. Again, everything's okay. We're about 950 feet. We're about to transition to the V-bar, bubble 17, page 2-15.
And we're check low Z.
Okay, good call, thank you. All right, John, clip is stabilized us out here at 1,000 feet, and we'll be sliding up there to the V-bar.
Sounds great, Rick. We'll see you at 309 at ND elapsed.
Okay. See ya.
Indian Ocean for 2.5.
Roger. Roger that. We are stable at 1,000 feet and on the V-bar, and it looks real nice. The SPAS is performing like a real champ, and the attitude control system is holding up real well. No problems at all, and gee, it just really looks super up here.
Thank you, sir.
John, we have had one more of those intermittent dropouts, but the SPAS came right back up and no other problems.
We think that's due to the auto antenna switching from lower to upper.
We sure do want to pass on our best wishes to those folks from MBB who built this spacecraft. It's a real beauty.
We'll do that.
So the one we're flying in is a real beauty too. The orbiter's really handling like a champ, as John Young would say.
We copy that. And Crip, would you have any objections to rotating the SPAS about 45 degrees for a little cooling?
No problem.
Okay, we'd like to see a minus 45 degree rotation about the y-axis.
Didn't work.
Okay, minus 45 about Y.
That's right, remain in the LVLH.
Understand.
That'll get her a little bit further out of the sun.
John, did you guys just switch antennas again?
Yes.
Okay, you caused a dropout that hasn't come back yet.
Those switchings are automatic. We'll see you at Yargadee at 3 plus 2-3.
Okay.
And if you'd like to,
Are you guys on
if you'd like to manually select lower, that will alleviate that problem, Crip. Manually select lower and it'll alleviate it.
Okay, we've got that.
Back with you, Argady, for 8 minutes.
Okay, John, we just completed rendezvous radar test number 1. We got a good reacquisition. Signal strength is about a little more than 1.0.
Sounds good. When somebody gets a chance, will they give us a processor temp, please?
Yeah, John, that's 103 degrees.
103.
45 degrees out.
Houston, Challenger.
Go ahead.
Roger, we're going to go put the spas to free as per the mouse. So we will not be maneuvering the spas during this mouse data take unless something is overriding.
And you got to go for that.
Okay, thank you.
See at Hawaii at 3 plus 4 9er elapsed.
Okay, see you at Hawaii. And the spas is in free at this time.
We copy.
And John, that's because we got the mouse 2 on a little bit early.
We copy. And when you reestablish the attitude, we'd like for you to go to the one that we gave you a while back.
Okay, we'll do that.
Back with you in Hawaii for 6 minutes.
Roger that, loud and clear. When is the next time you guys can take some TV?
Right now.
Okay, we're trying to get this VTR set up that so we can give you a playback of that last departure. Stand by just a minute. Here's the TV to you.
We just went into a short keyhole.
Back with us yet, John?
Okay, go ahead.
Are you back with us now?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting any TV? And John, radar test number 2 was successful.
We copy, and we still need about 10 or 20 more seconds before the TV.
Okay, 10 or 20 more seconds.
Okay, we got it.
Okay, we thought you were getting it earlier. We're rewinding a little bit here.
Thank you.
Okay, John, you should be getting it now.
Beautiful.
John, you copy that we had a good radar test number 2?
Yes, sir, we copied that.
A while before I wanted to do it here in the dark, but from an evaluation, I could not get the stars right now. Didn't have those lights on it. They sure are nice.
And John, these pictures were taken out at 1,000 feet.
That's beautiful. Another space first.
To beat Bruce and his MMU. If you're going to have TV available at Goldstone, we can give you some more of this.
We're going to have it set up for you.
Okay, we'll try to get it down to you.
And Crip, we sent up a teleprinter message with some options for this afternoon's prox ops. You might want to take a look at it, make some comments when you get some time.
Okay, we'll get somebody to go down and take a look at it here. I'm sure Dwayne is sitting there listening. The radar is really working out great as far as range and elevation and so forth. Line of sight rates wander around a little bit, very similar to what they've done in Sim. They're helpful, but not great.
Dwayne's heart rate's up to about 160.
And he can't measure mine. That's just like he taught me to do it. And as he might have guessed, during this portion of the coverage, we had the STS 16mm ON.
Copy.
And we've also managed to take 78 shots from the SPA's 70mm so far. So if the cameras work, this will be well documented.
I'm sure Mr. Green will be happy to hear that.
That's affirm, and if you can stand the interference we need for you to select upper Hemi. Sorry, make that GPC.
We'll try it once. We're back in lower. We'll give you stuff at Goldstone. I just did not mess around with taking a chance and dropping it.
We copy.
Okay, that's the TV. We'll get some rewound and show you a little bit earlier in the departure.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you at Buckhorn at 3 + 5 9 elapsed.
3.5 laps, thank you.
We're with you over the mainland for about 19 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear. And John, with regard to your message, we would like to try the whole thing.
We copy?
And you knew I'd say that.
We kind of thought so. And we're receiving the VTR intermittently.
Now, that's because we're rewinding it. I didn't realize you were... John, what we need to know is when you're locking up on TV, because sometimes it's not obvious to us.
Okay, we have it now.
Okay, and there's the spa. The spa is kind of blooming a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit to... You had seen there, John, was nighttime just prior to the start of the R-bar separation.
We copy?
Yeah, we didn't have enough time here to get VTR set up for you guys.
We got about 2 more minutes if you want to try anything.
Okay.
And we'll have you again at Mila.
She is.
That's a beautiful shot.
And we hope you like the arm.
We see that.
We have Mr. Dave Holman, M-Pad. The way the ailerons have been riding all along during the flight, John, we could always keep track of the left outboard, the right inboard and outboard, but we could never see the starboard port inboard. We were glad to see we still had a port inboard aileron when we saw this shot.
It is comforting, isn't it?
This would be a great tool to carry on every flight for orbiter inspections.
And John, you might verify for us that that is the color camera. We don't have any way of telling whether we've got the color or black and white camera on in the spas.
Beautiful living color.
John, we just got the position where the moonlight is hitting on the spas, and it's the first time I've been able to pick up a visual up on the thing. So if we can time all of our rendezvous such that we got a full moon, just the right position.
We'll make a note of that.
And sunrise is coming.
Roger that. We got some people outside looking for you.
We coming over?
That's a firm right overhead.
All right. John, let us know when you drop and pick up TV. Okay.
Okay, we have reacquired TV through Mila.
Okay, thanks. And here we're trying to set up in the cabin view, and it was a little bit dark at the time. We'll see how it develops. There's enough lights in here where you can see inside a cabin and distracting from looking out the window.
Okay, we're starting to see a little bit clearer now.
And we did some manual iris control there. And in fact, you might pass that on that we're doing all of the iris and focus manually. The ALC and gamma are not working on any of the cameras right now. Yeah, they caught some pretty bright sun when we were coming up on the initial deploy, which is probably part of the problem.
We copy?
You can see as the view shrinks down how we're transiting out, and there's we switched over to a view looking at the stars.
We copy? And as you approach the Cape, you might see that the weather is still very unfavorable.
Okay. Prognosis yet?
We have no firm prognosis at this time.
Those weather folks all right. Wouldn't give you a firm prognosis either. And John, for Dwayne and the ICOS people, fortunately we got to play with you guys coming through on the TV, and I really didn't do a night evaluation other than with the lights on. However, we'll pick up a little bit on the last rep before we start our approach. And in addition to that, the ICOS does work well, at least with the lights on, and but so does the normal COAS, and that's the end of the TV. The ICOS during the day here, with the sun very brilliant on it, also works with the day filter on.
We copy, Crip.
Rendezvous officer estimates this picture to be taken, to have been taken about 1,000 feet, at 1,000 feet distance between the shuttle pallet satellite and Challenger.
And John, for Dwayne and the ICOS people, fortunately we got to play with you guys coming through on the TV, and I really didn't do a night evaluation other than with the lights on. However, we'll pick up a little bit on the last ref before we start our approach. And in addition to that, the ICOS does work well, at least with the lights on, and but so does the normal coas, and that's the end of the TV. The ICOS during the day here, with the sun very brilliant on it, also works with the day filter on.
We copy, Crip.
Mission Control, we've got about 5 minutes of voice left through Bermuda.
Challenger, Houston.
I hear you.
Yeah, if Crip is listening, we just had a miscompare on the right RCS tank ISO 345, and we'd like for you to put that thing into GPC. That's 345B, Bravo.
Okay, he's got that.
Be advised that our talkback was reading closed.
Yes, sir, this is invisible to you.
Okay? Things are.
Dakar at 4+23 elapsed.
Okay, see you there.
This Mission Control, we've had lost signal and acquire again in 4 minutes through Dakar. The processor temperature on board the shuttle pallet satellite, which has been some concern to the payload officer, is now at 105 degrees and appears to be continuing to increase. The payloads officer now is advocating that during the nominal meal period that the shuttle pallet satellite be powered down. That would occur at mission elapsed time of 4 days, 1 hour. For that 1 hour meal period during orbit 65, that the spas be powered down and given the opportunity to do some cooling, and that the temperatures in the long view shouldn't inhibit the proximity operations for the day. Playback of the most recent video will be initiated at mission elapsed time 3 days, 23 hours, 17 minutes, which translates to a central daylight time of 5:50 a.m. Presently, mission elapsed time is 3 days, 23 hours, 8 minutes. This is Mission Control, Houston.
Back with you, Dakar, in Ascension for 11 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear. We decided we'd proceed on ahead with these auto sequences a little bit early on the RMS, and John's got that in work. John's how we do.
We copy.
John, are you guys getting like radar data, like range and range rate on the ground?
That's a firm.
Okay, good. For Dwayne, the elevation and the azimuth look very good. However, I don't believe I was curious earlier about the azimuth data, whether it was really pinpointing on the RED, and I don't think it is. I think it's locked on the main body. He's comparing the COAS with what I'm seeing on range and azimuth.
We copy.
And John, you've probably noticed that we had to terminate the first 2 points of this auto sequence manually. We had to put the brakes on. It didn't look like the auto sequence was going to terminate at either of those points. And I guess that's something that we expected from sail testing.
We copy and concur.
Mission Control Houston, we still have about 7 minutes of voice remaining through Dakar and then subsequently through Ascension Island. And we're about 2 minutes away from the videotape replay of the most recent downlink TV on NASA Select. Mission lapse time is 3 days, 23 hours, 15 minutes.
Botswana at 4+40 elapsed.
Okay. And we're bringing the SPAs back under control. We think it's been free for a little over an hour now for the mouse.
We copy and concur. With the Botswana for 5.5.
Okay, loud and clear. Well, things are looking fairly stable here. That tip looking to you guys?
We can't see it. I was going to ask you for a readout here towards the end of this pass.
We'll give you a readout.
105.
Thank you. And we got about 3 more minutes of Botswana. Give me one more check on it, or let me know if it changes from 105, if you would, at LOS.
Okay, we'll do that.
Got about 40 seconds here. We'll see you at Yargadee at 4+58 elapsed.
Okay, 4+58. See you there.
This Mission Control Houston. Next downlink TV is going to occur at 4 days, 0 hours, 11 minutes, which translates into 6:44 a.m. Central Time. Be more proximity operations, and it'll be over the Hawaii Pass on orbit 65. Challenger is approaching the west coast of Australia. Will be in voice contact through Yargadee here in just a few seconds, and we'll be talking to Yargadee for about 7.5 minutes. And again, next downlink at mission lapse time 4 days, 0 hours, 11 minutes. Presently, mission lapse time is 3 days, 23 hours, 45 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston.
Back with the Yargadee for 7.5.
Okay, understand. We're getting ready. Sunset's coming up here, so we're getting ready to take a look at the some of the things with no payload bay lights and also no Boss lights.
Copy, Crip, and I got a couple short notes for you anytime you feel like taking them.
If it's just listening, I can do that.
Okay.
Charlie says you think, so go ahead.
Yeah, regarding the SPA's deactivation for the meal period, you can use the deactivation procedures in the ProcSop book on page 241. That's block 17A, except we do not want you to power down the mouse too, and you can also delete the orbiter reconfig at the bottom.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I got an attitude we'd like for you to go to during that power down to point to deep space, and I'll give you a roll, pitch, and yaw when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, 207, 347, and 028.
207-347-028.
That's correct. And that'll be orbiter shadowing the SPAs.
Say again, John.
And when you get into that attitude, that'll be the orbiter shadowing the SPAs.
Oh, okay. We understand.
Could you give us another readout on the processor temp?
Stand by. 107.
Hawaii at 5 plus 24 elapsed.
5 plus 24, roger that.
This mission control will acquire Hawaii in 17 minutes and 30 seconds, and as a reminder, that'll be a downlink TV pass. This shuttle mission control, we're coming up on a pass over Hawaii and another downlink TV opportunity. That's 5.5 minutes away at mission elapsed time 4 days, 0 hours, 11 minutes. And that Hawaii pass will be about 8 minutes long. That'll be followed by more TV through Goldstone and subsequently Mila as well. Mission elapsed time is now 4 days, 0 hours, 6 minutes. The elapsed time for proximity operations is 5 hours and 18 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston.
Challenger back with you at Hawaii for 8 minutes.
Okay, we're about 700 feet out, closing.
Copy.
This Mission Control, Commander Bob Crippen confirming that we're on V-bar operations on the velocity vector with the Challenger moving backward to rendezvous with SPA.
TJ, it's dark up here. Correction, John, it's dark up here, so, and we don't have any other VTR to shoot to you. So we thought, depending upon what you want to do with TVs, you might want to try for some live over in the States, but of course that's your call.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You can use Cameron Bravo if you want to. Or the SPAs, it's hard to tell from here on a black and white monitor what you get out of the color camera, but they're yours to play with.
We're busily playing away.
Okay. What you got coming down now is the B camera. All we see out the window.
Roger that.
Can you make out the colors of those lights?
Oh, that's a negative?
Foxtrot. Okay, we're about 600 feet out now.
Okay, Crip, we've turned off the TV and we're dumping the recorders.
Kiddo.
This mission control, since the spaceships are in darkness, there won't be live TV over Hawaii, and the INCO is taking this opportunity to get a dump of the VTRs, videotape recorders stored on board from the previous video takes. But we'll have live TV over the States. The Terminator, where Challenger will cross from darkness into sunlight, is just inside the Goldstone Pass, so we should be able to get acceptable video through Goldstone. And we acquired Goldstone in about 7 minutes.
John, we don't know if you could see it, but disregard.
Buckhorn in a couple of minutes.
Roger, you there.
This Mission Control, Houston, we're about 30 seconds away from voice through Buckhorn and about a minute and a half away from video through Goldstone.
With you, Buckhorn.
Hello there, John. We're about 4 minutes to sunrise, it looks like, and we're into 350 feet, and looks like it's going good.
We see that, and Rick, you may want to repress the left ohms. You're going to get a warning here, probably right around the time you grapple.
Okay, thank you, I'll do that. We appreciate that call, we got it repressed now.
Thank you.
It's live TV from Challenger. As a look at the shuttle pallet satellite about 300 feet above the vehicle. It's a picture of the shuttle Challenger taken from the shuttle pallet satellite. The tail of the Challenger pointing toward Earth. Mission Control Houston, there again you see Challenger with its tail pointed toward the Earth. At the top of the screen there's some glare as a product of the sun's reflection off the radiators. This is the picture from the end effector camera. Those white T-looking markings on the end effector are reckoning points. Shuttle Mission Control, the image of the shuttle pallet satellite getting larger in the screen as the Challenger moves back to rendezvous with that payload. The image of the Challenger before you know. The remote manipulator system, the mechanical arm visible protruding from the forward part of the bay. Since this is STS-7, it is probably not a coincidence that the arm is positioned in the posture of the numeral 7. Mission Control, a black and white camera on the shuttle pallet satellite operating now, and the Challenger can be seen in fairly good detail, looking in the payload bay at the payload assist modules in the aft section, and some of the getaway special canisters are visible. You think that's color? It's the end effector camera here. Earth's horizon visible to the left of the screen.
This is Mission Control Houston, acquisition at this time at Ascension Island. The shuttle pallet satellite, SPAS, is going to be powered down for about a 2-hour period to get some of the components cooled down.
Back with you at Ascension for 7 minutes.
We got the SPAS on the RMS.
Beautiful. And Crip, whenever you feel comfortable, we'll talk a little bit more about procedures during the power down.
Okay, we're getting ready to do the rotating SPAS capture.
Okay.
He's done gone, Bill.
Botswana for 8 minutes.
Okay, and the rotating capture is complete. Both Dr. Fabian has a couple of grapples to his name, and Dr. Thagard has a grapple. And we're getting ready to go through the power down now, and I'm ready to listen.
That's great, Crip. Once you power down, we're going to stay powered down for an extra rev, so that'll give us 2.5 hours for your meal time.
Okay.
I'd like for you to go to that attitude that we gave you earlier. If you don't have it, I'll give it to you again. And also, we would like for them to put the arm into a different attitude than what they got there for the capture over the bay.
Position.
Okay, the position is the same. The attitude we'd like to change to plus 90, I'm sorry, plus 270, plus 050, plus 090. That'll not only shade the SPAS, but it'll also point that thermal window into deep space.
Okay, that's 270, 050, 090.
That's affirmative.
Okay.
You got any questions about the attitude or the deactivation procedures?
Let me ask you one about the mass spec. I take it you want it off. Do we need to close the shield before we turn it off?
That's affirmative.
Okay.
Just want to leave the mouse 2 on.
I understand.
John, one thing you can come up for me with is on my PET clock or something, either give me a PET that I'm supposed to come back in and start again, or give me a new time to set up a PET. PET that equates to an old PET.
Yes, sir, I was ready to give that to you. You can put, if you'd like, into your timer 3 days, 20 hours, and 8 minutes, and that'll update you to start right after lunch. We're back on the timeline.
Okay, understand. And Houston Challenger, are there going to be any more TV passes that would allow us to give you any more VTR? Is that it for today?
Yes, sir, we're configured for every TV pass.
Okay. We'll set up for that.
And if you would, we'd like to get one more processor temp before we leave Botswana.
108.
Copy. And if you haven't already powered down, we'd like one last reading on that right before you power down.
Okay, we're about to power down, and the temperature is 108.
Thank you. And I'm not sure which time you're using right now, Crip, but we'll see you at Yargadi in 15 minutes.
See you there.
And John, we're maneuvering the arm to the appropriate attitude and the orbiter to the appropriate attitude. We've got the spas deactivated.
Thank you.
This is Mission Control Houston. Loss of signal at Botswana. Yargadi, Australia, upcoming in 13 minutes. The shuttle pallet satellite, SPAS, has been powered down and will remain powered down for an additional orbit and a half, giving an extra long meal period for the crew in an attempt to get the mass spectrometer temperature down. It's now at 108 degrees Fahrenheit. The timeline will pick up after that additional orbit at the point at which it's left off. Challenger now in orbit number 65. Reacquired in 12 minutes at Yargadi, Australia. And at day 4, 1 hour 11 minutes, Mission Control Houston. This is Mission Control Houston, 17 seconds now away from acquisition at Yargadi, Australia. Crew now in a meal period. The SPAS powered down to cool off the data processor system. And earlier I misspoke and said 108 degrees Fahrenheit, and it should have been Celsius. Just somewhat higher. We should be in acquisition now for the final pass this morning at Yargadi.
With you at Yargadi for almost 3 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear. We're just getting ready to go down and grab a little lunch, and we think we've got everything set up like you guys wanted it. And do you have a new PET clock going just so I can check with you? Oh, John, how do you read?
I'm trying to figure that for you right now, Crip.
Okay, well, I've got us at 5 hours, 6 minutes, 5 hours, 7 minutes right now.
Okay, that's within 30 seconds.
Okay, sounds good. We're going to go grab a little lunch, and unless there's something else you need us to do here on the flight deck.
Okay, we need for you to get the FM antenna to GPC, and after that you can enjoy your lunch.
Okay, that's coming up. Okay, it's got it.
Thank you, sir. I think we'll be turning you over to the other guys here pretty soon. We enjoyed working with you today, and we'll see you later on.
We appreciate all the help you guys gave us down there today, and for some of the people that helped train us, like Moselle and Hebe, even though they weren't training, they were just working procedures.
We copy.
Spas Brothers, too. Bill Powers and Ted Broder.
Roger that. And the entire SPAS team here in the Mocher and down below would like to give you a wholehearty well done.
Thank you very much. Our thanks also go out to Steve Clark and Dan Sadeh, who were the folks actually doing the training for us.
They copy.
You guys, mañana.
Yes, sir.
What time is the next TV pass?
We'll catch you at Hawaii in 21 minutes.
Okay, will that handle 5 minutes worth?
It's a good long pass. It's almost 8 minutes.
Okay, we got about 5 minutes that shows the final approach and grapple.
That's great.
Today, let's don't forget that fine RMS training team that has taken us through this thing, too.
They copy.
Big John, this is Norm.
Go ahead, Norm.
You might tell Dr. Bill that I was wearing his little ambulatory blood pressure monitor, and my systolic pressures, which had been running around 117 to 124, went up to 149 during the grapple on the rotating spas.
We can all understand that. We're going LOS. We'll see you shortly.
Bye.
Mission Control Houston, we're in acquisition at this time at Guam.
Challenger, the Granite team with you now for 7 minutes.
Howdy, guys. Welcome aboard to the Granite.
Thank you. We watched your show this morning. It was super.
Guys must have got up early, too.
Roger that. A bunch of folks that you were congratulating earlier went out to watch you fly by this morning, and they said the folks that had binoculars could actually make out the 2 little white dots up there. That is the shuttle and the spas being the 2 white dots.
Well, it was certainly bright enough. I had the Astros do last night.
Well, we won one finally, 5-0.
Fine. One little comment, just so we won't forget it in our debriefing. There's a little radar unit, TV unit that we use to work with the SPA TV that's mounted up on the flight deck.
Roger.
Well, that thing apparently generates quite a bit of heat. At least it gets pretty warm to touch. And I'm not sure whether it's attributable all to that unit, but the flight deck got very, very warm over the past couple of hours. I bet we've got at least a 10-degree delta between the flight and the middeck. So it feels pretty good to come down here to the middeck to have lunch.
Okay, we copy that. Thank you. Challenger Houston, we're about to go LOS. We'll see you at Hawaii in 6.5 minutes.
Okay, we'll have some TV for you there.
Sounds great. Challenger Houston with you through Hawaii for 7.5.
Okay, loud and clear, and tell me when you're set up for TV.
Wilco. And Grip, we're ready for TV now.
Okay. What we have here is from camera B, the one back in the aft on the port side of the vehicle looking forward. And it shows the end of the RMS sticking up, and this is the SPAs looking down at the orbiter. You can see the starboard payload bay door open, as well as the starboard windows. And then this flashes into the RMS end effector camera, which is what we use to kill the final rates. We're back to looking at the SPAs approaching. And we use that camera to judge how fast it's coming down and to make sure that our rates are fairly small, which they were today. And that little adjustment there, we're trying to get the iris set right since we're having to do those manually. See, we got a very slow closure rate, which is the kind we like.
Roger that.
Don't move around this 200,000-pound vehicle very fast. And we're back to the end effector camera looking for the SPAs to come in. It should come in from the bottom when it does, since the camera is actually on the bottom side of the RMS. You see the limb of the Earth there over on the left side of your picture. Get an idea how the camera's tilted. I'll make John go over there and show me that view every once in a while just so I don't get too nervous. But this is very exciting for you folks that are watching it down there. Some of the people that played with the box ops in the simulator, you'll notice how much these views do look like the simulators that we have.
Okay, we can see the camera from this view sitting there on the bottom of the end effector.
Yep, sitting down right there. the way we planned the lighting, or Dr. Moselle and Dr. Heeb planned it, made it very comfortable. There you can see the spas start to come into view from the RMS. Now, that's where I start using my PAC to kill off the closure rate. A couple of gas canisters there that are attached to the spas. And you can see that the rate starts to kill, and somewhere right in here where I say to John Fabian that you got it, and at that time he starts closing in with the RMS. Okay, he's doing that now. He's driving the RMS in. The script provided a real stable platform, and I took it in about halfway here, and then shifted over to vertical rate control so that the final maneuver into the payload would be a little smoother than we can get with the course control. And then continued on in toward the grapple fixture itself. And the payload was, in fact, very stable, and as we approached the grapple fixture with the end effector, then Sally puts the spas into a free drift mode, and Crip commands the orbiter into a free drift mode so that neither one is firing thrusters at that time. And then we continue to close in the last couple of feet, with Crip looking out the overhead window to assist in all of the ranging as we get in closer. As you can see, it's a very smooth operation coming in. The RMS very easily controllable, and the spas itself is a very stable platform. And after we've squeezed the trigger and grabbed it, then it rigidizes itself and snugs up against the end effector per se, and we're ready to do whatever comes next.
Great show there, John.
And that's pretty much what went on with regard to the VTR. We're up here on the flight deck where we were just conducting that little show. If that's got a pretty good view or not. Tilt your camera down there a bit.
Raj, we can see you there, Crip.
Okay. We got all 5 of us up here today. Norm's doing the camera adjustment. Good. Got 5 very happy people. We're looking forward to this afternoon's little excursion with the spas, and we're happy that the folks down there has worked on this little problem with the temperature to allow us to do that. We're hoping it's going to cool down properly where we can get a full phase 2 of the Fox Ops in.
Roger, we feel pretty good that'll allow us to get the full phase 2 in.
Great deal. Seems like it's mainly the electronics that's causing it to heat up more so than the sun.
We concur.
So turning it off sounds like the right thing to do. We also appreciate the good call this morning and the very timely way in which the MOCR took a look at a whole series of alarms which indicated gyro problems, and assessed that as a bit problem rather than a real failure, and allowed us to continue.
Yeah, we're just as anxious as you to get things done.
Yeah, you guys do good work.
We all thank you.
Guy, do you know what they're predicting the MODIS temperature will come up at? Do they have a decay rate for the temperature?
Well, I don't know about prediction, but we've got a pool going down here on it.
We might have one going up here too.
Our official guess is it'll start up at about 100 degrees.
Great.
And we're going to lose you here in about 10 or 15 seconds. We'll see you at Buckhorn in 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll see you there. I think that's probably going to be, we won't have any TV for you at Buckhorn. We'll go downstairs where it's cool again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Challenger Houston with you at Buckhorn for 7.5.
I'm clear.
And I got just a couple of recommendations you may have already considered on the flight deck being a little hotter. Is one, to check the heat is pinned to full cool position, and then you consider turning off as much panel lighting and maybe even think about CRTs up top.
Okay, we're pinned full cool. We never use panel lighting, and we think we minimize CRTs. We've got may have a couple, one of them that we can let down. Yeah, we could take down one or two of those.
Okay, good. And just suggestions, and we're hoping that the attitude you're in will also help cool it down up there.
It's fine. It's just a little bit on the warm side, just like Houston.
Oh, we're in a good attitude, guy.
I can tell.
NASA 1, this is a Challenger. How do you rate?
You're loud and clear.
No, wasn't talking to you. We just heard a call between NASA 1 and NASA 3.
All right.
This is Mission Control Houston. We're in acquisition now over the states, Buckhorn and Mila. A replay of the videotape dump that was played, piped down over Hawaii, will be replayed at 8:45 Central Daylight Time, followed at 9 o'clock by the change of shift briefing with off-going Flight Director Tommy Holloway.
Challenger, we're 30 seconds to LOS. We'll see you at Mila in 2 minutes.
Bye-bye. Got enough.
Challenger Houston with you at Mila for 3 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear. Just getting ready to enjoy our trip down Central and South America. Guys ever set up your phase elapsed time clock with the new time?
That's a firm. We're showing 5 plus 50 and 22 seconds.
Okay, we're off by about 30 seconds and I'll buy that.
Sounds good. Challenger Houston, we're about 40 seconds to LOS. I got another idea here that might help the difference in temperature between the flight deck and mid-deck. And there are 3 diffuser valves over on the starboard side of the sleep station that you should check that they're closed, and then the diffuser valve in the airlock, if you close it, might help.
Okay, we'll take a look at it.
Okay, and we'll see you down at Ascension at ET time of 6 plus 10.
6 plus 10.
This is Mission Control Houston, loss of signal at Mila. Ascension Island in 13 minutes. Meanwhile, a playback is underway of the recent downlink of videotape recorded on board of the grapple and capture of the Space Shuttle pallet satellite. This was downlinked over Hawaii. The change of shift briefing with Flight Director Tommy Holloway will be at 9 o'clock Central in the new center briefing room at JSC. This is Mission Control Houston, 40 seconds away from acquisition at Ascension Island, followed with a brief gap at Botswana.
Challenger Houston with you through Ascension for 5 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear.
Loud and clear also, and if anybody's near a CRT, we'd like a GNC Spec 1 for some variable parameters. It'll take us through tomorrow.
Coming at you on Spec or CRT2.
Thank you, and INCO would like for you to turn the TV cameras off here, let them cool down if you haven't done so already. We can't see them.
They're already off.
Thank you. And Grip, just something here for you to think about, that we'd be interested in your thoughts on use of CRT-4 for entry, and we'd just like you to let us know if there's anything we can check out for you in the simulator or the 1G trainer.
Okay, I guess I had planned on having it up and available. I don't really think there's any special use for it other than contingencies. John can access it for us. If you just want to at least verify that, since we don't normally fly entries with it, although I think there are a few of them that have been done that way, you might just go ahead and fly one with that CRT enabled when 3 disabled.
Okay, we'll look at that.
That's just kind of nice to have. 2 CRTs are plenty, but might as well turn it on.
Okay, that's about what we figured. And Crip, just another thought on that from DPS. Wanted to check that you want that CRT on the pass to distribute the CRTs across the GPCs rather than on the BFS, but we're looking for your opinions.
No, I want it on the pass.
Roger that. And we're through with the CRT. Thank you.
Okie doke.
Challenger Houston, we're at 10 seconds to LOS. We'll see you at Botswana at a lapse time of 6 + 19.
Okay, see you there.
Challenger Houston with you at Botswana for about 7 minutes, and I've got a message here on SPA's activation, fairly lengthy.
Okay, standby, we'll be ready to copy.
Okay, meanwhile, if you got anybody on panel A7L, I'd like the MAD strain gauges back on for us.
Okay, coming out. We have them on at this end.
Thank you.
Copy.
Okay, first of all, due to the procedure I'm going to read you, we suggest you start this activation at about 6 + 30 on the ET, which is about 10 minutes from now. Okay, step 1 is perform RF activation in the payload ops checklist, page 6-7. Do not perform step 1. Perform steps 2, 3, and 4. However, on step 4 at the end, do not re-enter the gyro drift compensation values. That's not necessary. Okay, then while you're in the payload bay attitude for the SPA's inertial frame init, we'd like to perform a 10-minute gyro drift check. No special DAP or attitude required. Suggest you stay in DAP A14. Okay, if the compensation values are significant, you can go ahead and enter those. That's your judgment call. Okay, while you're getting the drift check, or after you get it, we'd like for you to command the mouse 2 to off. It's item 25. And then we would like for you to activate the mass spec. That's in the payload ops checklist, page 4-4, and that's steps 1 and 2. I'd like you to disregard the caution at the beginning of that says don't use it for plume impingence. We would like to get it on for the plume data.
I knew that was coming.
Okay, that's all I've got on the RF activation. You understand that?
He's still there?
That's affirmative. 4 more minutes.
Hey, I'd like to give you a fast readback on that if I can.
Roger, we're ready.
Hey, starting in about 10 minutes at 6+30, you want us to do the RF activation, page 6-7 of the payload ops checklist. Do not do step 1, do steps 2, 3, and 4. Do not enter gyro drift. Do a 10-minute gyro drift in present attitude, and the present DAP of 814 is satisfactory. Enter the resulting data at our judgment, and turn the mouse 2 off and activate the mass spec steps 1 and 2.
You got it. Another note here, we'd at the end of the activities this afternoon, before you deactivate the SPAs, we'd like to get about 5 minutes of the black and white SPAS TV on VTR just to test it out.
And Guy, how was the readback?
Readback was fine, John.
Guy, are you reading John?
That's affirmative. He's coming in loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Did you understand his readback? Houston, Challenger.
Go ahead, Challenger.
Guy, did you copy John on his readback?
Challenger, Challenger. That's affirmative. I read back John. I'm in the manual procedures now.
Okay, understand. Them soup's after you, Guy.
Challenger, Challenger. We'd like you to be in the payload berth attitude for the drift check. That's different from what I read you before. Over.
I'm not sure I understand what payload berth attitude means. Hey, we copy that you want us to be in the SPA's berth relative attitude to the orbiter. Is that affirmative?
Challenger, Challenger. That's affirmative. Over.
Okay, I'm with you.
Challenger, Challenger. Houston, I've got a note here on changing the ohms interconnect. Over.
Okay, go ahead.
Challenger, Challenger. We'd like to repress the left ohms with the helium press VAP ISOL Bravo for 30 seconds. And then we'd like you to go through the interconnect switching from left to right ohms, orbit pocket page 8-4. Over.
Roger.
Challenger, Houston, got my Quindar fixed, and we're going LOS. We'll see you at Guam at 6+51 elapsed.
See you there.
This is Mission Control, Houston. Guam in about 40 seconds. In the first detached operations with the SPAS satellite, the RCS orbiter propellant used is somewhere around an estimated 700 pounds. Actually used against 981 predicted usage pre-flight, which is 281 pounds under. 10 seconds away from reacquisition at Guam on orbit 67.
Challenger, Houston with you through Guam for 7.5 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear.
Roger, you too. I have your RCS pads and a note on how to get out of having to do the manual iris on the TVs.
Guy, right now that shouldn't be necessary. The iris is working.
Okay, I'm ready to copy your pad.
Okay, on page 2-30, your go for plume data take, and the numbers are 4018.2, left 10.2, right 10.3, 2856. Warning block, the numbers are 2, 47, 12.3, 12.4. Ready for readback.
Okay, coming at you from the top. 4018.2, 10.2, 10.3, 2856, 247, 12.3, 12.4.
Roger, readback correct, and I've got the next pad on page 2-38 when you're ready.
Okay, ready to copy.
Okay, go for inertial approach if the numbers are 33, 17.4, 10.2, 10.3, 2856. Warning block 2, 47, 12.3, 12.4. Ready for readback.
Okay, that's 33, 17.4, 10.2, 10.3, 2852, 247, 12.3, 12.4. Over.
Roger, I got one correction in the middle there on approach and grapple SPAS ASAP if the second line is a 5-6.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought this one read back 5-6.
Roger, readback correct. The only note on the TVs are that we have to put it in an asynchronous mode to get the SPAS TV to work, and your ALC and gamma talkbacks there will not light up, but they do function properly. So you can select the norm, and they should function okay.
Okay, Guy, and they are working now, so...
Okay, copy that, Sally. Thank you.
Yeah, it wasn't apparent to us from the reactions we were seeing on the tube that they were working, but we understand.
Okay.
Okay, we got a note for you on the PSP. And Guy, INCO will note that we're up on PSP2. We had no joy after lunch on PSP1.
We copy that. Thank you, John.
Sir.
And Challenger Houston, INCO would like you to elaborate any if you can.
Followed the amended procedures, the red line procedures, and we were unable to establish a link. We also were unable to establish bit sync on spec 62 for PSP1. And after some difficulty, we were able to establish that bit sync by using the sweep on PSP2, but the same technique did not work on PSP1. We were totally unable to get any comm going on PSP1.
Roger, we copy.
And Houston Challenger, we just had the same series of messages we've been getting with the SPAS, DHS, and so forth. That were you guys playing with the FM antenna again?
Stand by. Roger, we'd like to proceed on and just force the antenna to the lower rather than GPC.
Do that. It'll work. Houston Challenger, right now we're in the middle of the gyro drift check.
Roger, Houston, copy. And John, if you can give us an estimate on when you had the PSP1 problems, it'll help us get the data.
You'll notice a series of messages in the period of 040300, starting really with some messages of PCE bypass on PSP1 about 0253. But I had the panel misconfigured at that point. The ones that were of note are when I really swapped over were 0300.
Roger, we copy. Thanks a lot. We'll look at that data.
Okay.
50 seconds to LOS. We'll see you at Hawaii at 7+05.
Okay, see you there.
After powering it back up, we're showing the status of Echo Fox.
This is Mission Control, Houston. Loss of signal at Guam. 5 minutes remaining until reacquisition at Hawaii. The crew now involved in the second phase of the detached operation, or the proximity operations, I should say, of with the SPAS. We'll return at AOS Hawaii in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. This is Mission Control, Day 4, 3 hours, 19 minutes. This is Mission Control, Houston. We have acquisition through Hawaii at this time on orbit 67.
Challenger Houston with you through Hawaii for 7 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear. We're just about in attitude, and we're putting in the gyro correction that we calculated.
Roger, we copy. Challenger Houston, this is a TV pass.
Okay, I'm afraid we're not going to be prepared to support TV here for a while.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, we may be able to give you some here shortly.
Copy. Challenger Houston, would like you to ignore the mass spec message.
And Guy, I've got the TVs in command. We'd appreciate it if you not move them, but you can select them if you like.
Copy, thank you, Sally.
And Camera Delta's got a pretty good picture, Guy.
Thank you, Sally, we see it. Thank you.
And we've also got the flight deck camera.
Copy, thanks. Challenger, we'll see you in Buckhorn in 3 minutes.
See you there.
Challenger with you at Buckhorn for 4 minutes.
Okay, we're getting ready to take point 1.
Roger.
One's complete, working on point 2.
Roger. We'll see you at Botswana at 7 plus 55 elapsed.
See you there.
This is Mission Control, Houston. Loss of signal at Buckhorn. Final stateside pass of the day. Next station, Botswana, in 34 minutes. The SPAS is now detached from the remote manipulator arm for the second phase of detached proximity operations. Picked up the elapsed time clock on the proximity operations after it was on hold for about 2.5 hours for the meal and for a cool down of the SPAS. We'll return in 34 minutes at Botswana. This is Mission Control, Houston. 4 days, 3 hours, 39 minutes. This is Mission Control, Houston. Botswana in less than 10 seconds. Second phase of detached proximity operations with the shuttle pallet satellite underway at this time.
Challenger with you at Botswana for 6.5 minutes.
Okay, and Dr. Houck has done a superb job getting us through all the plume data. That is complete, and we're sitting out here station keeping now at 200 feet. We've done the
rendezvous radar performance eval with the RED, and we'll wait here for, another 20 minutes or so before we rotate the spot.
Roger, copy. You got time for a couple of notes?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, we noticed earlier you mentioned the jittering in the radar and when it was tracking, and if you can get some pictures on VTR of that for us, we'd appreciate it.
Probably easier to go over and take them in the STS.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, that's fine. And the other one is just like you to power down the mass spec prior to powering down the spas.
Cut you out, guys. Say again about the mass spec.
Roger, before you power down the spas, we'd like for you to deactivate the mass spec.
We copy that. That sounds like a good call. And you copied my earlier call about the mass spec status Echo Fox, I guess.
Roger, we just caught that going over the hill, and if you can, we'd like to know the position of the mass spec head when you got that, or where it is now.
-X the last time I saw it, but we'll check it.
Okay, thank you.
Sally's checking it out the rear and says she thinks it's still -X.
Okay, thanks.
And Guy, during the plume data take, we ran into some problems with the aft cameras. On camera Bravo, which is the one we use to read the pan tilt off and also to help us get range, it looked like the angle encoder that gives you the angle readout of the tilt on the camera was going quite a bit faster than the camera. So the camera, when it was at about 30 degrees or, I don't know, 60 degrees, was indicating 90 degrees and above. So the pan and tilt numbers on the Bravo camera were unreliable. And the Charlie camera, I was unable to get a picture on it, a picture to focus or even to pick up the spas at all.
Thank you, Sally. We copy.
It seemed to work adequately when I was pointing it in the bay, but as soon as I pointed it out of the bay, I couldn't pick up anything.
Okay, copy.
Charlie's doing the same thing this afternoon that we had this morning.
You say that again, please, John?
We've got a repeat on the ALC and Gamma, and I think it could very well be the SPA's TV that's causing us that problem, but it's the best picture in town today.
Roger.
Of course, Guy, what we're doing right now is we're running the color camera, and before we put the SPAs to bed tonight, we'll give the black and white camera a check out.
Roger, thank you. We appreciate that. And on the what the SPA's TV does to us is we just get no lights on those talkbacks. They should work.
We understand that, and the functions have not been working.
Copy. Thank you. Challenger, we'll see you at Indian Ocean in 2 minutes.
Fantastic. We'll see you there.
Challenger Houston at Indian Ocean for 6 minutes.
Okay. Gentlemen, we tried to take in some data on the VTR for the needles, and they were just about as solid as they could be.
Roger, copy. And if you...
Go ahead.
Janenko says if you'd like any help from him on the TVs, he'd be glad to try anything.
At this particular point in time, I don't think they're really help us, but you should know about it for troubleshooting post-flight.
Roger, sounds good. Challenger Houston, see you at Guam at 8+28.
+28, see you there.
Challenger Houston with you at Guam for 6 minutes.
Roger that, loud and clear. And we just completed the rendezvous radar test without the RED, and I guess we can tell no difference between with and without.
Roger, copy.
We're sitting here for the appropriate time to maneuver the SPOS to initial approach attitude, and we're kind of working up to see whether we get some TV, a couple of those plume data takes that we could show you over Hawaii, so we still have TV called up there.
Copy.
And Guy, I might give you a little data on the simulated backup release.
Go ahead, Sally.
Okay, I guess the bottom line is it really looked good. I saw essentially no relative motion at the time of the release, and I sat with the end effector right over the grapple fixture for quite a while before I pulled it back. I saw a little bit of yaw build up eventually and pulled it off, but I think the VTR that we got of that's going to demonstrate that backup release really doesn't impart much motion.
Roger, copy that. Sounds good.
And also, people might be interested in knowing the plume data take. The thing that actually gave us the biggest excursions was the 2 points back aft, not from the forward firing jet, but from the aft firing jets when they corrected the attitude, and they really did upset it. The compliment to the engineers that put the SPOS together that it could take the kind of hits that it took. It went out at least 90 degrees before it came back, but came back in very nice.
We copy that.
In fact, we think we may have some TV of that for you. If we can search it out through our VTR here, we'll show it to you.
Sounds good. And Challenger, if you've got a chance, we've got a couple of stars in there that GNC would like to look at the torquing angles. We'd like you to select stars 3 and 2 on spec 22. That's item 19 and a 17. We want stars 1 and 2, I'm sorry. We'd like an item 19 followed by an item 17 on spec 22.
Okay, got that now.
Thank you.
Good looking angles.
And Challenger, we'll see you over Hawaii at 8+41 for some TV if you can.
Okay, we'll see if we can work it up.
And we're interested in some TV of the radar enhancement device area if you can.
I'm sure we can give you that.
Thank you.
Mission Control, Houston. We should have acquisition momentarily again at Hawaii on orbit 68 and live television.
Challenger Houston with you at Hawaii for 7.5 minutes and we're set up.
Okie doke.
Okay, we're about to start the VTR for you, Guy.
Thanks, Sally.
Okay, Guy, what you're going to be seeing here is we've got the SPOS back over the aft of the orbiter, and that's our 100-foot data point. And you'll see, you won't be able to tell when we fired the jet, but after we fired the jet and the orbiter then fired its aft jets to level the orbiter in its attitude, it fired aft jets and it disturbed the SPOS. You'll see it rotate about its y-axis almost 90 degrees. Of course, you can look out and see the Earth limb there and hope the colors look good.
Roger that, looks great.
Okay, well, I'll give it a call. Let's see, I think it's moving now. Okay, you can see it's rotating about the y-axis. It's about 30 to 40 degrees out already, and we'll just see what it does.
Okay, at your convenience, we'd like for you to repress the right ohms for us.
Roger, we'll repress the right ohms. Up. We'll just let this run during the Hawaii pass, and if you like, we'll fast forward in between Hawaii and the States if we're going to have you there, and try to find another view of the orbiter from the spas.
Roger, we won't be going over the States anymore today.
Okay, fine. And for information, we're starting our initial approach fly around now, so we probably won't be talking to you for a little while.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, we'd like to cut the TV now. We need to VTR this approach.
Sounds good. Thank you.
We'd like to cut the VTR, and if you want to choose any of the cameras that we're using, you're welcome to, but we'd like to keep control of them.
Roger, understand. Thank you.
Okay, and if...
We're giving you camera delta. Just to keep Dwayne happy, the angles we're maneuvering to are roll of 241, pitch 240, and yaw 320.
Copy, thank you.
For information on the ground, we're 22 degrees out of our LVLH attitude now, pitching up and over the spas. You can tell that as the Earth's limb starts to disappear from the, or moves down and moves up in the TV.
Roger, we see that. Thanks.
Okay, we'll give you a little camera delta.
Challenger, we concur with your numbers.
Yes, sir.
Challenger, we're losing you. See you at Botswana at 9+30. Thanks for the pictures.
Yes, sir.
This is Mission Control Houston. Re-rendezvous with the SPAS pallet satellite underway at this time. Next station 40 minutes away at Botswana. And likely there will be another VTR dump at next Hawaii pass an hour and a half from now of the re-rendezvous and capture. Four days, 5 hours, 8 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston.
Challenger Houston with you, Botswana, for 6 minutes.
Roger, loud and clear. Sally and Rick got a good capture on the inertial approach, and we're now getting set up to do the single joint tracking capture. We're almost there.
Copy.
Dr. Ride just completed a single joint tracking capture.
Copy. Good show.
Guy with regard to IMU line, you didn't see like what he saw with the stars we had in there, or you want me, can I go ahead and maneuver to the star line attitude after we complete this?
Crip, the plan is we're going to take those stars in there and delete the IMU line, but we'd like to look at them at IOS.
Okay, we'll go along with that plan.
And I've got other few notes here for you, but wait until you guys are ready.
Okay, I'm in a position, I think, where I can take them. Tell me what they are first.
Okay, a couple of things we're deleting from tonight's activities there. Cancel the ASE thermal temp check. And the TV pass coming up in Hawaii, you guys have done such a good show, we recommend canceling it unless you have other druthers.
That sounds like a good idea.
Roger that. We'll cancel the TV at Hawaii.
Okay, and we'll pick up the gas stage as soon as we can.
Roger that. And I've got your dump quantity for tonight.
Okay.
Be dump tank Bravo to 30%.
Okay, that's it. Just Bravo to 30. Is that correct?
That's affirmative. And your O2 and H2 tank heaters, we like to leave them as they are. We will not be turning on tank 3 tonight.
Okay, negative on tank 3.
Roger, and your state vector good message will be coming up later tonight on the teleprinter.
Sorry, I missed that last one, guys. Say again.
Roger, the state vector good message will be coming up on teleprinter later tonight.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Okay, and I've got a note here. We'd like to confirm the mouse A and B status indicators both read up, and if not, put switch 1 and 2 into the up position. Challenger with you at Indian Ocean now for 8 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear. And we're going through and testing out the black and white color TV camera on the spot.
Okay, thank you. And Challenger Houston, we'd like you to torque stars 19 and 11 in the star tables.
19, 11. And I assume you guys got all the data you need on that?
That's affirmative.
Houston Challenger, we're now looking at the black and white TV system that was designed for the EMU helmet, and it looks like it works real good. We got a clear picture and bad lighting.
Sounds great.
We're going to put a little bit of that on the VTR so the folks can look at it on the ground.
And the stars are being torqued.
Roger, thank you. And Challenger Houston, we'd like to monitor the interconnect return, the ohms interconnect return, and I've got one change to that procedure in the orbit pocket, page 8-4.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it's I'll explain the problem. Your right RCS fuel tank ISOL 345 Bravo has an open limit switch short. And so down here on the ground, we're seeing both an open and close indication. Your talkback, as a result, will always read the oxygen side, so this will be transparent to you. So when we go to open these switches in the interconnect return, we'd like to monitor it to make sure the valve does open. Your talkback will indicate open because it'll go with the oxygen valve. So what I'd like you to do is there in the last step before DAP as required, when you take the tank ISOLs to open, we would like you to just take the right RCS tank ISOL 345 Bravo to open. Let us look at the data and then take the other 5 to open.
Okay.
Challenger, we see a good alignment. I'd like to remind you put the star trackers back to track.
One thing at a time, guy. Okay, the 345 should be open this time.
Okay, we're looking. Challenger Houston, it looks like that switch is stuck closed, so we'd like you to take the other 5 ahead and take them to open, and then take the 345 Bravo on the right side back to close, and then to GPC.
Okay, and you want us to feed the 345 side through the right RCS cross feeds?
Negative, the A valve will be supplying.
Okay, fine, thank you. Okay. It's all configured. I guess I can go ahead and take that back to auto.
That's correct.
Okay, and we're changing the TFLs at this time.
Copy. Challenger Houston, I'm 1 minute to LOS. I'd like to sign off here and let you guys get to busy getting ready for bed. I'd like to thank you for a great day of prox ops and some good experiment data. And I've got notes from both the Canadian National Research Council and the SPOS-01 team. I'd like to thank you for their outstanding performance today.
Okay, we appreciate those good words, and we appreciate all the assistance you guys gave us. We had several little problems to deal with, but you done super.
Roger, we enjoyed it.
Even manana.
Roger that. Have a good night's sleep.
Go.
And Challenger, we're cycling the PSP off.
We copy that. Okay, we understand. Thank you.
This is Mission Control Houston. Loss of signal at Indian Ocean Station. Crew of Challenger winding down the day's activities and going into the pre-sleep activities. There likely will be very little additional air-to-ground communications with the crew after a rather busy day of operating the shuttle pallet satellite and detached operations, proximity operations. Next station is Guam in 18 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston, day 4, 6 hours, 7 minutes.
Challenger Houston, I'd like you to turn the average G switch off.
Just about to get to that one.
Thank you.
Guys are so impatient. How long you still with us?
We're about to lose you. We'll be at Hawaii in about 7 minutes.
Okay, see you there. You may have seen a lot of messages, SPOS transponder messages coming in right near the very end of the detached ops, and the reason for that is
Challenger Houston with you at Hawaii for 8 minutes, and of course I have a few switches for you.
okay, say again, guy.
I've got some switches for you. The first one is the FM antenna on panel L1 to GPC.
FM antenna?
Yeah, FM antenna, I'm sorry, on A1.
Yeah, you got that.
Okay, while you're back there on A7, the MAD strain gauges to PCM enable.
Got that.
Okay, you're a go on the item 48s.
Huh?
And we'd like you to repress the right ohms. That'll be using the A valve.
Got it with the B valve.
Okay.
Talk faster, guy.
Okay, stand by. We'll look things over here and see what we got. Okay, go ahead.
I've been told that some crews in the past have announced that we deliver. Well, from Flight 7, we pick up and deliver.
Roger that.
Thank you, sir.
And you're cleared to close the ohms B valve there whenever you want, and I've got another switch on panel A12.
Go on A12.
Like the APU, heater, tank, fuel line, H2O, 3 alpha to off, and 3 bravo to auto.
Okay, we did that. You have a little problem with alpha?
Roger, we're seeing the H2O inlet injector temp is getting a little bit low.
Roger that. Got any others?
No, I think that'll do me.
Okie dokie.
And that on that heater, we think it's a problem. We're not sure. We just didn't want to wake you up tonight with it.
Dan, I appreciate the thought.
And guys, say hi to the SPAS people for us, unless they've already gone out to celebrate.
Will do. I've got a note here, and since you guys are so chit-chatty, I'll read it up to you.
You read a note to us.
Okay, the SPAS 01 team wants to thank the crew for their excellent performance. Although we were confident that they were able to get the SPAS back, we are very happy that everything worked so well. We all hope that they had some fun with SPAS 1, and it's comes from the SPAS 1 team.
We really appreciate the message, Guy, and it's been a real pleasure to deal with those folks, and I think it's going to be a long-lasting relationship.
Roger that. I got another message from the National Research Council of Canada. They'd like to thank you for your outstanding performance in releasing and retrieving the orbiter's first free-flying satellite, using, of course, the Canadarm.
Chip said it was fun. He was lying. It was hard work all the way.
Yeah, I bet.
You would do it again just any time. How about tomorrow?
And Challenger Ecom didn't want to be left out in the switch throwing, so I've got one on R12 for you now.
Okay, Guy, I can get up there. Go ahead.
The supply water dump valve enable nozzle to off.
I got that.
Thanks a lot. Challenger Houston, about to lose you at Hawaii. Sweet dreams, and wanted to make sure you got the MIA 3 activated.
This is Mission Control Houston. We've had loss of signal at Hawaii. Next station, Santiago, in 15 minutes. Unlikely there will be any other conversation with the crew this evening, inasmuch as they're going into their sleep period, and with congratulations passed back and forth between the SPAS team and the crew, and also the RMS Canadarm team for the performance today of the 50-foot-long robot arm. Commander Crippen added a little to the STS-7 motto, "We deliver." He said, "We pick up and deliver." The RMS remote arm has been stowed and cradled, and the shuttle pallet satellite was berthed at approximately day 4, 6 hours, 5 minutes, some 40 minutes ago. At day 4, 6 hours, 47 minutes, Mission Control Houston.
Mission Control Houston, standing by for acquisition through Santiago, Chile. Mission Control Houston, 4 days, 7 hours, 37 minutes, mission elapsed time. Challenger has begun its orbit number 70 over the Indian Ocean Station. Crew is about in their scheduled sleep period now. After a very busy day of shuttle pallet satellite proximity operations and a lot of good television during the day. Flight control team, planning team of Larry Bourgeois, the flight director, getting settled into their routine here in mission control. And we'll be going through the regular motions of preparing the teleprinter messages for the morning and looking at any outstanding systems problems that may remain, although it appears to be fairly clean at the present time. We're at 4 days, 7 hours, 38 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Mission Control, Houston. Mission Control, Houston, 4 days, 7 hours, 45 minutes mission elapsed time. We're expecting that change of shift press conference with the off-going flight director John Cox to take place at its regularly scheduled time at approximately 2:30 Central Daylight Time, room 135, building 2 of the Johnson Space Center. This is Mission Control. This is Mission Control at 4 days, 7 hours, 50 minutes mission elapsed time. Off-going flight director John Cox has left Mission Control and is on his way over to building 2 and should be arriving there momentarily for the regularly scheduled 2:30 Central Daylight Time press conference. This is Mission Control. Mission Control, Houston, 4 days, 8 hours, 40 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger is passing over the tracking station at Santiago, Chile, on the last quarter of orbit number 70. The spacecraft is currently in an orbit of 158 by 155 nautical miles, and the crew is about an hour into their scheduled sleep period. Flight controllers here in Mission Control are reviewing their data coming down from the spacecraft, and things appear to be going well at the present time. They have just had a weather briefing on the situation at the various landing sites and are reviewing their options for landing day and the couple of days beyond. Again, things very quiet. The flight controllers will be preparing the usual teleprinter messages to be relayed to the crew a few hours or several hours from now. And at 4 days, 8 hours, 41 minutes mission elapsed time, this is Mission Control, Houston. Mission Control, Houston, 4 days, 9 hours, 30 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger is on orbit number 70 and about to pass within range of the Guam tracking station, where the flight controllers will get a glimpse of data coming down from the spacecraft. Everything appears to be functioning normally at the present time, and in Mission Control they are simply keeping an eye on things and making the preparations for tomorrow's activities, preparing the teleprinter messages, which will be reviewed later in the evening, and going over the options for entry opportunities on Friday or later should that become necessary because of weather problems. Spacecraft is in a 158 by 155 nautical mile orbit, taking 1.5 hours and 30 seconds to go around the Earth one time. At 4 days, 9 hours, 31 minutes mission elapsed time, this is Mission Control, Houston.
All right.
Mission Control Houston, 4 days, 10 hours, 35 minutes, mission elapsed time. Challenger just now starting orbit number 72 and is within range of the tracking station at Ascension. Data coming down from the spacecraft. When we get these passes over the ground stations, and flight controllers here in Mission Control will continue to monitor that data through the crew sleep shift now. Everything appears to be going well on board the orbiter. In Mission Control, things are very quiet. They continue to watch the data and do some of the routine systems housekeeping chores that are typically done on a planning shift. Crew has about 5 hours remaining in their scheduled sleep period. And the spacecraft is in an orbit of approximately 158 by 156 nautical miles. At 4 days, 10 hours, 36 minutes mission elapsed time, this is Mission Control Houston. Mission Control Houston, 4 days, 11 hours, 29 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger on orbit number 72 out over the South Pacific. Crew is about halfway through their scheduled sleep period. Here in Mission Control, the flight controllers on the planning team of Flight Director Larry Bourgeois are reviewing what the options are by way of equipment power downs that could be put into effect should weather prohibit a Kennedy Space Center landing the nominal end of mission on Friday. Those options that they are lining up are to allow even more extension of the mission, just simply to provide all the possible, the longest range of options possible on mission extensions. Chiefly the thing that is being managed the most closely, the limiting factor in these extensions are hydrogen. And of course the other consumables, but the hydrogen cryogenics used for the fuel cells and providing electricity, the hydrogen is the limiting factor in this case. There are already 2 days of mission extension capability, and the object here is to see if they can't squeeze even the possibility for a third full day to allow even an additional landing option day should that become necessary. No decision will be made during this shift by this planning team on whether or not the landing will take place on Friday or at what point it would take place, nor on the serial preference of options, whether it would be preferable to go to Edwards landing site on Friday if KSC were not available, or whether the preference would be to wait till Saturday and try KSC again. Those things will all be decided by a NASA management team, which is currently scheduled to meet at approximately 7 a.m. Central Daylight Time tomorrow morning. They will, at that time, review the current predictions for the weather for the nominal end of mission on Friday, and they will make a decision at that time so as to, if that decision is to vary from the nominal flight plan for tomorrow, by way of extending the mission, that decision would be made about midway through the crewed day. That would be before they get too far into their cabin stowage procedures, and would avoid that wasted effort there. Again, that decision is not being made on this planning shift. The options for where landing could take place or have been naturally lined up for quite some time. The only thing that is taking place relative to that on this shift is that they are reviewing what equipment could be powered down to give them a further mission extension capability should that be desired. And those decisions, certainly that will not be a decision made by this group. We are at 4 days, 11 hours, 33 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Mission Control, Houston. Mission Control, Houston, 4 days, 11 hours, 39 minutes mission elapsed time. Just to review our last statement of a few minutes ago and to state our intention relative to the normally scheduled change of shift press conference for tonight. The decisions relating to the landing possibilities for Friday, the nominal end of mission KSC landing, those decisions will be made tomorrow morning at a meeting by NASA management to take place at approximately 7 a.m. Central Time. And there will be no information relative to that tonight, other than possibly a bit of information on what equipment could be powered down if there were a decision made to extend the mission. And that equipment power down would be to save some of the consumables, chiefly the liquid hydrogen used in the production of electricity, to give capability of, to extend the mission capability beyond the 2 days pad that already exists, to make it, see if they can make it reach on into a third day beyond the normal end of mission, just to give the flight controllers and the crew one more option. That is one of the activities that they are in the process of doing this evening, other than in addition to the normal preparation of the teleprinter messages. The crew is being uplinked a normal day before entry flight plan review, a teleprinter message that they would normally be expected to receive should we be planning on going into KSC as expected on Friday. If there were to be a decision made to the contrary in that management meeting tomorrow, then somewhere before midday, crew midday tomorrow, approximately that time anyway, the crew would be informed, and before they got too far into their cabin stowage procedures. Certainly the weather situation, which is the factor that on which that decision would be made, is unclear at the present time. Recent forecasts are not optimistic for the KSC conditions to be good on Friday morning, although the weatherman reserved finally ruling that out because there was the possibility that the trend was to clear over there, and that at least on Saturday things were improving. But the Edwards sites apparently were to remain clear for at least a few days, and all of this will be considered when that management team meets in the morning. And again, there would be no decision available tonight, and no data available tonight relative to those landing expectations, other than perhaps a list of a few items of equipment that could be powered down to save cryogenics. So our intention is, therefore, unless some problem, vehicle problem or other item comes up that would cause us to want to hold a press conference at the stated 11:30 time, our intention is to not hold that press conference, as we have had occasion to cancel all of those press conferences for the planning team throughout the entire flight. We will be not finally canceling that right away and simply leave that option open to watch vehicle systems in case anything should arise, and we don't want to cut off that option entirely. We will be keeping you advised on that. 4 days, 11 hours, 44 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Mission Control, Houston. Mission Control Houston, 4 days, 13 hours, 17 minutes mission elapsed time. Things remain very quiet here in Mission Control. Flight controllers are preparing the morning teleprinter message, which will be a nominal day before entry crew activity plan to send up to the Challenger crew fairly soon. Crew has about 2.5 hours remaining in their scheduled sleep period. The spacecraft is out over the South Pacific at the present time on the last quarter of orbit number 73. Flight controllers are proceeding with the plan as if we would be flying a nominal day before entry plan tomorrow. However, they are also compiling the list of items which could be powered down to save some of the consumables to enable additional mission extensions, giving as much capability as possible to the people choosing the options on when the spacecraft will come down. The weather situation over Kennedy Space Center, its uncertainty for Friday morning, is the thing that will be getting the most attention. Tomorrow morning at a meeting of NASA managers, that will probably take place around 7 a.m. Central Time, and they would want to make that decision somewhere by midday through the crew midday activities before they got too far with their cabin stowage, should it be decided to extend the mission. At the present time, we're 4 days, 13 hours, 19 minutes into the mission. This is Mission Control, Houston. Mission Control, Houston, 4 days, 13 hours, 23 minutes mission elapsed time. Just to announce that we intend to cancel the off-going flight director's change of shift press conference that would have been held at 11:30. There's very little activity that would justify having a press conference at this time. And we believe that we intend to cancel. We do intend to cancel that press conference. We'll make one more announcement on that probably in about 15 or 20 minutes that we had canceled it. And of course, we reserve the option to reinstate it should there be any vehicle problems or similar type things develop here overnight. This is Mission Control, Houston. Mission Control, Houston, 4 days, 13 hours, 56 minutes mission elapsed time. Still about an hour and 45 minutes remaining in the scheduled crew sleep period, although because of the way the ground stations lie under the ground track, the orbits this time of day, we probably would not have first contact with the crew for about another hour beyond that, as we would get over the stations around Bermuda, orbit number 76, about 2 hours and 45 minutes from now. Flight control team here has completed preparation of their teleprinter message to the crew. The crew will be uplinked a nominal day before entry teleprinter message, planning for them to go ahead and go through the normal timeline activities. There will, of course, be a meeting sometime in the morning with NASA managers making a decision on, based upon the weather at the primary landing site at Kennedy Space Center, whether we would indeed land there Friday morning as scheduled, whether we would opt instead for a landing the same day at perhaps another landing site such as Edwards, where the weather appears to be good, or whether we would wave off for one more day and hope for clearing weather in Florida. To repeat, we are canceling the change of shift press conference for the current Flight Director Larry Bourgeois, and that would have been held at 11:30 Central Time tonight, but given that there appears to be no real new material to discuss at that press conference, we are canceling that one at this time. Among the other chores in mission control here tonight are the flight controllers taking a look at which systems they might power down should a decision be made to wave off for one day. And they would be interested in doing that from the standpoint of adding additional time to the potentially to the end of the mission, always to give with the thought of giving additional capability should it ever be needed for the spacecraft to remain in orbit until an appropriate landing point could be selected. At 4 days, 13 hours, 59 minutes mission elapsed time, this is Mission Control, Houston. Mission Control, Houston, 4 days, 15 hours, 12 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger is about 3.5 minutes away from the Dakar station. It's possible we could have some conversation with the crew at this time. I did not yet have an indication as to whether they're awake, but it's only about, we'll be about 20 minutes away from their normal wake-up time by the time we come upon Dakar. If not, we're about another hour and a half away from acquisition over the next available wake-up site over Bermuda on orbit 76. So the INCO officer has configured the communications to enable the crew to call up on the ground here, should they so desire. Flight controllers here in Mission Control are preparing the list of items that they might power down in the event that there should be a decision later in the day for to wave off because of weather on the landing, primary landing opportunity at Kennedy Space Center Friday morning. The goal being to give as much potential extension as possible for the mission for landing opportunities, create as much flexibility as possible. And some of those items include data handling and communications equipment and some of the redundant guidance and navigation equipment on board the spacecraft. In some cases there are three items, such as in the inertial measurement units, and they would put one of those on standby rather than having it running all the time, save some watts there. And again, some of the data handling equipment and some of the other communications gear could be powered off, and some considerable electrical savings there. The result of that is saving on the cryogenic hydrogen, which is the limiting factor, that and the oxygen used in the fuel cells to produce electricity, that being produced on demand as the electrical requirements of the orbiter need more electricity. That's produced, and consequently the usage of those cryogenics goes up. So when they can power down some of this equipment, they can save that hydrogen and therefore extend the potential duration of the mission, give themselves more flexibility. We're at 4 days, 15 hours, and 16 minutes into the mission, STS-7. This is Mission Control, Houston.
The final gun signals the end of the game. A shout of ecstasy roars from the crowd, and we gather to hear the sounds of victory. Ladies and gentlemen, for your musical entertainment, the one and only, the truly incomparable Leland Stanford Jr. University Marching Band.
Good morning, Challenger. How's that to get your blood stirring? Looks like you win the contest.
Was there a contest? Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
That band sounded familiar.
We hoped you would recognize it.
It's the one that played just before that I was still having problems with.
We are too, Grip.
How's things going this morning? How much longer we got you here, Big John?
We got you, let me see here, very shortly, maybe 30 seconds. We'll pick you up over to car here in about 2.5 minutes.
Okay, we'll chat with you there. I got a couple things I want to tag about.
Okay, we'll see you shortly. And make that 4.5 minutes at the car.
Roger that.
This is Mission Control Houston at 4 days, 16 hours, 49 minutes. The wake-up call performed through the Bermuda tracking station. The uplink music was the Texas A&M Texas Aggie War Hymn, followed by the incomparable Leland Stanford Jr. University Marching Band playing the Stanford Hymn, which, of course, is the alma mater of Dr. Sally Ride. And it sounded like the crew downlinked a Beatles song, A Hard Day's Night. We'll be in contact again in about 3.5 minutes through Dakar. Tommy Holloway and his flight control team have completed tag up here in the Mission Control Center, and will assume duties in relief of the Indigo team shortly.
And Challenger, we're back with you at Dakar and Madrid for 7 minutes. Challenger, Houston with you through Dakar and Madrid for about 5.5 minutes.
Okay, Todd, how do you read me now?
I got you loud and clear, Crip.
Okay, do you have anything for us?
No, sir, go right ahead.
Okay, one thing, we did have a message this morning, which was the result of APU pump drain line temp going low. That was on system 3, which last night, just before we went to bed, they had us switch over to heater B on to the sump parameter, and I didn't break that down. And when this one went out, since I wasn't sure what the other one was, I've got both heaters A and B on for the APU tank fuel line right now. So you might want to take a look at that.
And you did exactly the right thing. That's where we want to leave them, Crip.
Okie doke. And you had a good catch on the cabin fan thing there. We had accidentally left that little door cracked, and so it was leaking, and that's secured now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, if it's up to my option, I'm just going to fly around backwards today to take a new look on life.
That'll be fine.
Okay, one other thing, we'd had a request pre-flight from PAO to ask if Norm could do a little tag up or live TV broadcast on some of the medical DSOs that he's doing. And he is prepared to do that sometime this afternoon if we could have a TV pass live. There's one around at Hawaii at about 0330 MET that looked like a possible one to me, but any of them that you guys could work in, we'd appreciate.
We can probably work that in, and we'll get back to you on it. Thank you, sir.
Anything else for us?
Can't think of a thing right now.
Okay, looks like another great morning for spaceflight.
You betcha. And Crip, I got one note for you.
Go ahead, John.
We would like to start conserving a little cryo, so we want you to maintain a single G2 string today.
Okay, that's fine with me. We can. We don't need to bring up 2 for this STS checkout, as far as I'm concerned.
That's affirmed. Just we'll do it all, everything today, single GPC.
Okay.
And I can give you those cap deletions if you'd like, or I'm sure you'll recognize them when you get to it.
Oh, that's fine. We'll handle it.
Okay.
Hey, John, I've got the BS3 activation time if you want it.
Okay.
4 days, 06 hours, 45 minutes, 0 seconds.
Copy.
And my compliments to the LSJUMB. They were great.
Also, John, if anybody is interested in it, I've got the times for the gas Group D activities.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, relay 1 was 4 days, 6 hours, 90 minutes, 34 seconds. And essentially, relay 10, relay 2 associated with that was just right behind it within about 15 seconds. Relay 10 was at 4 days, 6 hours, 10 minutes, and 35 seconds. That was on gas 3. And for gas 1, relay 00 was at 4 days, 6 hours, 11 minutes, and 50 seconds.
And we got those.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're approaching LOS here. We'll see you down at iOS at 1714.
1714. See you there.
This is Mission Control Houston. We'll acquire signal again in 11 minutes through Indian Ocean on descending node of orbit 76. Mission elapsed time 4 days, 17 hours, 3 minutes.
And Challenger, we're back with you at Indy for about 5.5 minutes.
Okay, John, loud and clear.
Got you the same.
And John, your teleprinter message this morning indicated a desire to chat about PI interference yesterday during the SPAS activities, and we're happy to do that anytime.
Okay, we're listening.
Okay, the call that I made yesterday, I assume it's the one that you talked about in the message, dealt with a series of SPAS transponder alerts which occurred after the grapple at the completion of the inertial approach. And we received 8 or 10 alerts at that time. The grapple was completed with the SPAS directly over the COAS, and therefore its antenna was very close to the PI antenna on the orbiter. And the reason for the alerts that we were getting at that time were very high gains, which were being seen as they got down to a value of about -46, and the alert, I believe, is triggered at -50. So typical values we were seeing yesterday were in the -70, -80 range, and when we went through that -50 threshold, we began to trigger the alarm, and we got a whole series of them. But my understanding is that no real damage can be done to values all the way to -30, so I wasn't overly concerned about it at that time.
We copy, John. Thank you.
And if that's the wrong interpretation, I would like to know about it if you have time.
Okay, if there is, I'll get back to you.
And John, one more note on that. During that activity, we did confirm that we were on the low power on the orbiter PI.
We copy. And John, just as an advisory note, for any further SPAS operations, we're going to operate on the lower FM ME antenna. We're going to lose yours shortly. We'll see you at Yargadee at 1729er.
Okay, I copy. You're going to use the lower antenna. Thank you much.
That might not solve all the problems, but it'll help.
Probably won't hurt.
Mission Control Houston, we'll be AOS again in 6.5 minutes through Yargadee. Mission elapsed time is 4 days, 17 hours, 23 minutes. This Mission Control Houston, 4 days, 17 hours, 29 minutes. This Yargadee pass coming up 7.5 minutes, and will be followed directly by pass through Arroyo. Arroyo will be in lock for a little over 4 minutes, and we should have voice directly.
We're back with it, Yargadee, for 7 minutes.
Okay, good to hear from you. How you doing?
Just great. Challenger Houston, I got a message here for you regarding CFIS.
Go ahead.
Yeah, John, because we've experienced those record fields during the previous CFIS ops, we'd like to have you record the flow 1 parameter, and they suggest you to try to record it about every hour.
Okay, John, I'll do that.
Thank you. We'll see it in a minute and a half at Auroral.
Okay.
Mission Control, we're passing through a 1 minute 30-second keyhole between Yargate and Arroyo, and we'll have 4.5 minutes through Arroyo.
We're back with you at Auroral for 4.5 minutes.
Loud and clear.
And Challenger, we got about 30 seconds left here. We'll see you in 30 minutes up at Mila.
Roger that.
This Mission Control at 4 days, 17 hours, 43 minutes. Everything's pretty quiet on board Challenger in the post-sleep period. They're configuring cabin lighting and instrumentation lighting and instruments and window shades and preparing breakfast and that unscheduled bit of downlink music from the Challenger. We're entering a fairly long LOS period now of about 30 minutes before we pick up at Mila. This is Mission Control, Houston.
And Challenger, we're back with you for about 11.5 minutes through Mila and Bermuda.
I'm clear. And give me about 10 seconds and I can get you in and see his numbers for the IMU alignment.
Okay, standing by.
Okay, ready, copy?
Yes, sir.
Stars 20 and 51, angle error 0.02, for IMU 1, plus 0.03, plus 0.10, minus 0.06, for IMU 2, minus 0.02, minus 0.01, minus 0.02, for number 3, minus 0.05, minus 0.01, plus 0.09er. Torquing time was 4 days, 18 hours, 07 minutes, and 49 seconds. Over.
We copy, Crip.
And John, I've activated CFIS, and I can give you the time of starting the system status check if you'd like.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it was 4 days, 18 hours, 7 minutes. And right after I started the system status check, I changed those parameters that you sent up on the teleprinter. Same ones as a couple days ago.
Thank you.
John, my compliments to the ECOMs, that little procedural change they made on activating the flash of that by turning the red out temp back to normal before turning the FES on looked like it worked like a champ. Maybe we ought to have a permanent change here.
That's in work, Crip. That's some pretty sharp guys down there.
Again?
We got some pretty sharp guys on that console.
Well, you have to take everything into account. Now, this is a bunch of super troops.
Crip, anybody up there made any firm commitments for the weekend?
How about next Monday or Tuesday? Wednesday or Thursday?
That might be close. Take a look out your left side as you go over the Gulf there, and you'll see some weather patterns that we don't think are going to move out for the next 2 or 3 days, and it's really looking bad over the Cape.
Okay. I suspected it wasn't doing too great. I think Rita packed enough food for us to stay up here 6, 8, 10 days. Longer.
Well, you just have to hope so, huh? TJ said it's a good thing he has your check already.
Roger that. I guess if it looks like we're going to interfere with that thing Sunday, I might have somebody call Wes down there at PD's.
We can take care of that. Their decision should be made this morning in Houston, 6 or 7 hours from now.
Kramer. I'll tell Dr. Germany he could pack some more 70mm film on board for us, though.
We'll tell him.
John, certainly our STS is looking like we're in Fat City. Where are we running on the crowd line? It's a little bit hard for me to evaluate up here.
Let me get back to you.
Yep.
And Crip, looking at it roughly with some judicial management, we got 3 extra days right now.
Okay, thank you.
And while you're talking about cryo, we would like to get the B heaters off on the O2 tanks 1 and 2.
Okay, yes, we passed the, well, I'm indicating about 60% here, but we'll get them off. And Big John, in reference to message number 50.
Yes.
The answer is no. I didn't think I needed up here.
Okay, we'll pass it to him. And Challenger, we'll plan on doing Norm's medical TV show at Hawaii at 5 days, 3 plus 30, like you'd recommended.
Okay, super. He'll be all set up for you.
Complete with smock and everything.
Roger.
Got a minute to go. We'll see you at Dakar at 18:30.
Okay, see you there.
This Mission Control Houston. We've got 4 more minutes before we pick up the crew again through Dakar. Mission elapsed time 4 days, 18 hours, 26 minutes.
Back with you at Dakar for about 5.5 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear. John's just putting his ASC thermal checks at work.
Copy.
And John, I read out flow 1 right after I started the system zero check, and it was about 46. It went up to 52 pretty quick, and it stayed there the whole time.
We copy, Sally. And Crip, Dr. Germany said he would get you more 70mm film. He hasn't said how he's going to do it yet.
May have a hard time. If you could just go out and throw it real hard, we'll catch it when we come back.
Okay.
And Big John, for the PAM folks, they can look for the data for the ASC thermal on the ANIC at 18:30:00 and the Palapa at 18:30:30.
We copy. Got about a minute to go. We'll see you down in Indian Ocean at 1849er.
Okay, yep.
Challenger, we're back with you at Indian Ocean for about 8 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear. I like this flying around backwards. I can see better where I'm going.
And would you say again, Crip?
That makes sense to you.
People have always said Crip was a little backwards.
We copy.
Boy, John taught me how to do it on STS-1.
We got a minute here, Challenger. We'll see you at Yorgadi at 1905.
Okay, see you, Jerry.
It's Mission Control. That's about another 8 minutes before we get to Yargadi. Mission elapsed time is 4 days, 18 hours, 56 minutes.
And we're back with you through Yargadi and Aurora for about 13 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear. Yeah, I reckon I'll be getting around to some of our first Bolton, APU, and then do a checkout activity. Well, I can see Australia coming at us. Too bad I didn't bring up any Slim Dusty this time.
We got a lot of background noise, Crip. I couldn't read you.
Say good, son.
We got so much background noise, I couldn't read you, Crip.
Big John flying over the coast of Australia. I think we spotted Yargadi, and we were looking for the town of Dongra.
We copy. Should have a good look at Perth also.
I think that's a little south of us this time, maybe next orbit.
Should a pretty moon out this morning or tonight or whatever your perspective is.
To us, it feels like evening, Crip.
All depends on your perspective.
That's a firm.
Sorry to get you guys up so early. Or keep you up so late.
And in about 20 seconds, we'll lose you for 30 seconds. Pick you up at Aurora.
Aurora.
And we got about 4.5 more minutes at Aurora.
Okay, loud and clear. What station pass are we going to plan on picking up the APU start?
We want you to go ahead and do the Part 2 if you'd like to during this Pacific Pass and do the APU startup probably at Mila.
Okay, pick up the APU start at Mila and go ahead and proceed in to pick up Part 2 earlier than that. Is that so?
Yes, sir. You can do that after LOS here at Aurora if you'd like, and that Mila pass will start about 1949.
1949, okay.
And Crip, Ecom would like to see a fuel cell purge here sometime.
Ah, he caught us.
And he appreciates the extra DTO.
Second on DTO?
He appreciates the extra DTO, that 24-hour DTO.
Okay.
And Crip, RMU would like to see that APU steam vent heater actuation done before the Part 2. I think you told me you were going to do that. I'm not sure.
We'll go ahead and pick it up now.
Okay.
Those fuel cells are looking good.
We concur.
John, I'll let the CETA folks keep track of where I am. Flow 1 is right now reading 56.
Thank you, Sally. We're going to lose you in about 30 seconds, and we'll see you at Mila at 1949er.
Okay, we'll see you at Mila. And we applied the voltage and started to sample their block F of the CETA card at 1916.
Thank you.
It's Mission Control Houston. We've got about a 30-minute loss of signal period now before we pick up again through Mila. The crew marching right down the crew activity plan, and everything appears to be on schedule. Sally Ride reporting the progress of the various samples, which she's filtering through the continuous flow electrophoresis machine on board. And Commander Bob Crippen will be doing a checkout of the flight control system here very shortly. Mission elapsed time 4 days, 19 hours, 19 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. This is Mission Control Houston. Mission elapsed time 4 days, 19 hours, 47 minutes. We're just moments away from acquisition of signal through Mila after what has been a fairly long LOS of about 30 minutes. And this Mila pass will be about 10 minutes in duration. And we should have voice in just a few seconds.
And Challenger, we're back with you at Mila and Bermuda for 12 minutes.
Okay, and Rick is standing by for your go to start APU number 3. How you read us, John?
Read you loud and clear.
Okay, we're waiting for your go on the APU. I'm holding up on that also to select normal jets.
Copy.
John, did we cut you out? Did you give us a go?
No, sir, I'm still waiting. Double check that circ pumps 1 and 2 are in a GPC position.
They are. Would you like us to leave them in GPC for the test?
That's affirmative.
Okay.
Okay, you got to go to start APU 3.
Okay, here we go. Okay, Houston, we got an APU under speed as soon as we started surface movement.
We copy.
And Challenger, you want some cooling on that APU?
Stand by. That's affirmative, Crip.
John, we're in hold here. I'm assuming you guys are talking it over there.
That's affirmative. We're trying to sort it out. You got any observations for us?
No, as soon as we started the surface drive, we got an immediate underspeed, and it just set itself down there.
We copy. While we're trying to figure this out, Crip, we got indications of a camera over temp.
Take a look at it. Okay, Houston, the reason you're doing that is that we were doing a playback on the BTR.
We copy. Grip, we'll see you at Dakar at 2005.
05, Roger.
This Mission Control, we're out of sight of the Mila Station and Bermuda stations at this point, and we'll reacquire in about 3.5 minutes through Dakar. As part of the flight control system checkout, Mission Commander Bob Crippen fired up APU number 3, the auxiliary power unit, which provides, in concert with the other 2 APUs, provides power, hydraulic power to the aerodynamic surfaces on the vehicle. There was an underspeed observed in that APU, and it automatically shut down. The RMU systems officer here in the Mission Control Center is now engaged with his team members in replaying the data from that APU start to see if they can determine the nature of that behavior of that APU. And we'll stand by to see what they think of that and report it to you as soon as it's made known to the flight director. Mission elapsed time is 4 days, 20 hours, 2 minutes. We're 2.5 more minutes away from AOS through Dakar. This is Mission Control, Houston.
We're back with you at Dakar for 7 minutes.
Yeah, loud and clear. Just having our coffee while you're thinking about it. And listening to the Beach Boys.
We'd be happy to play you some if you like.
Yeah, we'll listen. First of all, would you give us a little observations on how sample 4 separation is going?
Say again?
We'd like to hear your observations on how the CFIS sample 4 separation is going.
It looks like it's going really well, John. Sample 4 is a NASA sample, and it looked, I guess the zero voltage flow looked just about like it did yesterday, and I just started the sample flowing with the voltage on, and it was looking real good when it started out. There was no pluming, nothing unusual at all. In fact, I was kind of surprised that it came into the column as quick as it did. You could hardly tell any mismatch between it and the buffer flow.
That sounds good. And Crip, we'd like for you to go back to Ops 2 for a meeting, and we'll get back to you shortly on that.
Okay, we're heading for Ops 2.
If you haven't already done so, you can go ahead and power down the electronics in Av Bay 2 so we don't have to get a fan on.
Roger that. You got most of those down. We'll catch the rest of them here just shortly.
Okay. And Crip, so far there's no clear-cut reason for that APU problem. Looks like it might take us a while to figure it out, so while we're doing that, we'd like for you to just press on with the nominal timeline.
That is our intent.
We got a minute to go here. We'll see you at Indy at 2025.
Okay, okay.
It's Shuttle Mission Control. As you heard from Capcom John McBride, the RMU Systems Officer, is going to go get together with his team members and study the APU data, and it probably is going to take a while to understand what happened and to get a better idea of what that phenomenon is all about, and the assurance to let the crew know as soon as we have some definitive word. We have a 12-minute LOS now before Yargity. Mission elapsed time 4 days, 20 hours, 12 minutes.
We're back with you at Indian Ocean for 7 minutes.
Okay, I'm clear.
And tell Norm to let us know if he finds any strange looking microbes floating around.
Not sure that he isn't trying to build them. It seems to be having a little feedback problems with none of our speakers on right now. He was trying to chat with you for a moment here. We're looking at it.
Okay.
And Vic, this is Norm. Can you copy this?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, for OBS channel fans, I'd like to report that beginning at 04-1850, we have a set of EOGs, and at 04-1940, we have another set of EOGs as per Bill's request.
We copy?
John, additionally, you might pass on to Bill that unless we get an extension, we probably are not going to do that acceleration sensitivity test that he was interested in.
We copy that. And we understand.
From what you were saying, we may get to do it.
Hope to get that APU back on.
I'm sure that you guys will come up with something. Just go to India that those shutdown things always like that. And John, would you check with the EAO types? They're probably listening right now. Our intent for Norm Thagard's TV spot this afternoon is to do a fixed camera setup in the middeck looking from the ceiling down at the floor where he has the MS3 seat set up for his EOGs. I think it'll be a pretty good setup. Is there any problem from a aesthetic standpoint with viewing from a ceiling to a floor?
We'll check and see.
That's the way you get to thinking after you've been up here for a while. At one time you knew how to say overhead and deck, John. I think what's really happening, John, is he brought some of that Navy grog on board.
Save some of that for the party.
And John, I do have some observations on the Cephas.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we're in the middle of collection of the first sample right now, and the sample looks quite a bit different than it did yesterday, this same NASA sample. I don't know what the differences are and what the differences they were expecting, but today, all the way through the sample flow with the voltage on, we've had three very distinct, pretty solid stripes, a blue one, a white one, and a red one. And they're well separated and they're well defined, and at the top there seems to be a waiver of maybe 2, 3, 4 exit tubes. And each one is maybe 5 to 10 exit tubes broad. Yesterday, although there were three, they were definitely separated into colors, the blue, white, and red. Within each one, for example, within the blue stream, it looked like there were 3 or 4 separate streams, not one broad stream, and the same with the white and the same with the red. And there was quite a bit more diffusion. There was a strong trailing edge, and then they kind of diffused off rather than being a kind of a fairly uniform band. And I don't know what today's looks a lot cleaner. I'm not an expert on it, but I'm wondering whether maybe the 10.2 had some effect on it.
Okay, we copy all that, Sally. We'll see you all at 2040 at Yarga D.
Okay, see you there.
Back with you, Yargadee, for 8 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear.
And if Sally's listening, the CFIS folks say that's what they had expected for that sample. There's a little bit difference in that sample on the one yesterday due to difference in conductivity.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. And if you give me a couple seconds, I'll go down to the middeck and read you some numbers.
Thank you. They really appreciate all this information.
Big John, just getting ready to activate the spas, and you might pass to ENCO that we're going to try again on PSP1 with the notes that we got in the teleprinter in mind.
We copy.
And John, the set voltages for sample 4 run were 267 and 270. And flow 1 at 2018 MET was 56. And it's still 56 now.
Copy, thank you. And we're assuming that you start the orbit RMS dynamic tests on time at 2110, so we're going to bring the ASIP online at 2055. We'll command that from the ground. It'll take 15-minute warm-up time.
Okay, you're assuming 2110, and that should work out.
And if Norman's listening, flight surgeons would like to know who the subjects were for those EOGs.
Okay, I'm listening. It's actually encoded on the OBS, but I'll just tell him the MS1 was the first one, and MS3 was the second one.
Got that.
I was too smart for him today, John.
We copy.
Told him I had to do an SDS checkout.
Good timing. Got a minute left here at Yargadee, and we're going to lose you for about a minute, and we'll have you for about another minute and a half at Aurora.
Okay, and John has got the spas power up in progress, and we do have a lock on through PSP1 today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for their note.
With regard to holding the sweep for the full 34.
Roger that. And Crip, we recommend that you operate manually on the lower FM Hemi.
Yes, thank you.
And we got you for a minute and a half at Aurora.
That's clear.
And we'll be looking for some TV over the States, and we'll see you at Buckhorn at 2118.
2118 will be set up there for you. For your interest, we did a little recording of what our problem is with camera Charlie. It's hanging up on a cable, and we can demonstrate that one of those passes if you wanted it to. Otherwise, we'll just hold it until post-flight.
Okay, we'll advise. We'd like to get the cooling secured on APU-3. You still got me?
This Mission Control Houston, mission elapsed time 4 days, 20 hours, 55 minutes. With about a minute and a half of comm through Hawaii. AOS there is in 22 minutes. Then a pass through Goldstone and Mila that's going to give us the opportunity for some downlink television of RMS operations. The mission lapse time for that TV is going to be 4 days, 21 hours, 24 minutes. Translates into 3:57 Central Daylight Time. And there'll be a satellite playback of that at 4:15 a.m. Central Time. Mission lapse time is presently 4 days, 20 hours, 56 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. This is Mission Control Houston. Mission lapse time 4 days, 21 hours, 17 minutes. Coming up on acquisition of signal through the mainland stations and the anticipation of some downlink video of RMS operations with the grappled shuttle pilot satellite. First we'll get voice through Buckhorn. That should occur momentarily.
And Challenger, we're back with you over the mainland for about 19 minutes.
Okay, we'll have the TV lighting set up a little bit better for you in just a sec.
We won't try the TV until we get to Mila, Crip.
No, I just think you should be a mile fairly shortly, shouldn't you?
It's about 6 more minutes.
Big John, give us about a minute's warning. We're trying to satisfy two requirements by getting some 16 millimeters, and the TVs and those lightings don't turn out to be compatible.
I'll do that. I'll give you 1 minute warning to Mila.
Thank you, sir. John's here, taking the spas out, unberthing it and back up. Direct, rather, excuse me. Didn't mean to scare you guys.
Thanks.
Hey, did y'all just do something? We just got our favorite SPA's power set of messages.
We're looking. We don't know the cause, Crip. We didn't do anything.
Okay, we just got SPA's transponder locked that time, but things are still going normal.
And Crip, we'll take a look at that camera Charlie problem post-flight.
Sounds good to me. There's no big reason to worry about it now.
And as I speak, you have 1 minute to Mila AOS.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, we just got another glitch on the PDI. They're just still coming through.
We copy? And we're with you at Mila.
Okay. Okay, you should have the flight deck camera on downlink. And afraid you got a couple of hot spots in there that are primarily caused by the monitors themselves, but we need the monitors to do our work.
Okay, you're starting to come through now.
And what we're doing here is we're maneuvering in an operator-commanded mode, taking the SPA's from its hover position after the direct drive unberthing. And we're going up, getting ready to do the control systems evaluation work.
We copy, and unfortunately this attitude doesn't give us very good TV.
We're sorry about that.
And if you want to go ahead with your commentary, John, we are getting intermittent TV.
I understand intermittent TV, and we're just going to continue here with what we're up to.
Mission Control. It's Challenger in a minus ZLV attitude, bottom to the sun, and doesn't lend itself to optimum TV.
We got a real good TV picture now.
Okay, we just changed our lighting conditions coming in the day, so I'm not sure we can help you out very much on them. We're right in the middle of the test.
Looks good, Crip. We can see the sunshine coming through.
Okay, for those TDRS guys that are there, we're on page 9-20 on flight specific, and John just picked up point 1.
And I'm going to turn you over to Dr. Hart for the remainder of the RMS test.
Okay, Big John. We'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
Mission Control at 4 days, 21 hours, 34 minutes. When the Challenger flew over Goldstone, they dropped some unscheduled TV, which we didn't pick up in the control center, but we've got it on videotape, and we're going to play that back now.
We'll call you through Dakar in 4 minutes, troops.
Okay, Chief.
Back with you through Dakar for 8.5.
I'm clear, TJ.
Likewise.
Okay, we're on page 9-5 now, the flight specific. We just finished up point 2.
Very good, thank you.
And TJ, we're in the middle of collection of sample 5 in the CFIS.
Okay, thank you, Sally. Sample 5.
TJ, for the RMS folks, we're not seeing an awful lot of dynamics on the test here. The arm and payload do wiggle a little bit, but that's about all we're seeing.
Make the CDR nervous.
Not our steely-eyed CDR.
Oh, yeah. Have you waving something big over the ship? I got a Messerschmitt flying on top of me.
TJ, you still there?
We have another 4 minutes, Sally. Challenger, Houston, we may have had a keying problem there. Go ahead, Sally.
Okay, I've got a couple numbers for you for sample 5.
Ready to copy.
Okay, the two set voltages were 274 and 275. And flow 1 is still 56.
Very good, thank you.
And we completed the collection with no problems.
TJ, we're over on page 9-6 now.
Very good. Botswana's next at 5-9.
See you there.
This mission control, mission elapsed time, 4 days, 21 hours, 50 minutes. And we'll be AOS again in about 8.5 minutes through Botswana. Still no word from the remote, from the RMU systems officer and the on an understanding concerning the APU number 3 irregularity observed earlier during FCS checkout procedures. Flight Director Tommy Holloway has asked that they provide him with some sort of understanding before the change of shift. Later this morning, mission lapse time 4 days, 21 hours, 51 minutes. This is Mission Control, Houston. This Mission Control, Houston, about a minute and a half away from AOS through Botswana. On orbit 80, we'll have more downlink television through Hawaii, Goldstone, and Mila. The TV will begin at mission lapse time 4 days, 22 hours, 41 minutes, which translates to 5:14 a.m. Central Daylight Time. And the satellite playback of that video will occur at 5:50 a.m. Central. That again is some downlink TV on orbit 80, which will show more of the RMS remote manipulator system activities associated with the grapple of the shuttle pallet satellite and the interaction tests. We should have voice momentarily through Botswana. Presently mission lapse time is 4 days, 21 hours, 58 minutes. This is Mission Control, Houston.
And we've got you again for a short 2 minutes through Botswana.
Roger that. Okay, TJ, we're with you, and we're just finishing up page 9er-9er. And again, when you guys came AOS that time, we ended up with our little false messages.
Okay.
We need folks.
Yeah, we don't understand that, Crip. We're UHF here.
Don't understand it either, but that's what happens.
We'll call you at Yargady at 16.
Yargady at 16.
We're coming through Yargady for 8 minutes. How you doing?
Okay, TJ, you're loud and clear.
You're loud and clear.
And TJ, I just put sample number 6 in. Started at 2213, and we're in the middle of the RMS field.
Okay, real fine, Sally.